Peace, power, and prosperity. Welcome. I think y'all deserve a little better than that. I'm going to do another intro. Bear with me. Y'all deserve better than that. I got better than that. Yes, we had better than that, chat. We got you. Give me a second. I'm having fun. Make sure I got my handy dandy chat up. How y'all doing, chat? How are we? This beautiful Sunday. Yeah, I think we're good. Peace, power, and prosperity, and welcome to another exclusive edition of Let's Get Rich. Yeah, today we're going to be speaking on PDF files. Yeah, we pulling up our PDF. We opening them hard drives. Okay, we're going to be loading up some software with a few updates. We're going to be updating you today. And we're going to be speaking on spiritual PDF files. This is important. Spiritual PDF files, because a lot of people may just be preying, okay, on your lack thereof, on your lack of evolution, on your lack of development. A lot of people could be preying on you. Or you could be that individual that have been preying on an individual, or you may have found yourself in a predicament at odds where you had the choice to admit, okay, the underdevelopment of the individual, admit it, or part ways with this individual. Okay? A lot of us at some point or another have come to these crossroads, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it so we can make sure you're not being a spiritual PDF file. Okay? We're going to be speaking on this because why not? We in an age that PDF files is coming to the light. PDF files is coming to the light. Now, we don't know how serious our governing party is about bringing themselves to the light, because they're going to have to come to the light after they've done bringing Epstein and all Epstein accomplices onto the light. The governing parties in general they're going to have to come to the light. Okay? But before we get there, we're going to bring a lot of things that we may have overlooked to the light. Okay? Like, a lot of us may have overlooked the fact that we were dating underdeveloped individuals. Half of the dating pool is complaints about these underdeveloped individuals, no matter if they're male, no matter if they female, okay? No matter if they older, mid-age, of age, it doesn't matter. A lot of people have been complaining, okay, about the mishaps that comes with dating underdeveloped individuals, spiritually and emotionally underdeveloped individuals. If you emotionally underdeveloped, you underdeveloped. If you had a troubling childhood or upbringing, okay, one that didn't offer you emotional resolutions, okay, spiritual evolutions, then you could may very well be emotionally underdeveloped. You needed to develop. When was your development time? Okay, a lot of people live in the past. That's a clear sign of underdevelopedness. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. A lot of people live in the past. That's a clear sign of underdevelopedness. Let me go ahead and move me up some so we can get personal. We're gonna get real personal today. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people, right, who didn't grow up with the proper parents. And we ain't gonna say anything was wrong with our parents, but a lot of us have some complaints about the way we were raised. Yeah, we got some root chakra complaints. Okay? Some of us have been raised a certain type of way and causing us to may want to live in the past. Those people that live in the past, that is a symptom of emotional underdevelopment. You may see online where people say, take me back to this time They may show old pictures of them running on the beach. They were a different size. They had a different look on their face. Take me back to this time. I wish of this time. They may be showing old clips of things that have happened in their neighborhood, things that was happening in the world. Take me back to this time. They may be showing Michael Jackson moonwalking. They may say, take me back to 97. Take me back to this time. They may be showing pictures of Tupac. Okay? Take me back to where hip hop was this way. Take me back. All them take me back people are emotionally underdeveloped. Okay? They have not developed emotionally. If you are emotionally developed, you would not want to live in the past. You would not want to hold the past hostage. A lot of people are holding the past hostage within the confounds of their own minds. You've put the past in a bondage. And by doing so, you have not evolved. You're showing the world that you have not evolved. You have not accepted that nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Until you accept that nothing lasts forever, you will always want to hold on to the past. Nothing lasts forever. No matter what pain you went through, it doesn't last forever. A lot of people need to be told this. A lot of musicians who've made it their art to just show their pain. Pain doesn't last forever. What pain do you know that lasts forever? You ever had a paper clip that lasted forever? You can't even break your leg and the leg is broken forever. Pain doesn't last forever. Okay? But some people have made it their art to speak on this pain and to put it in a realm where now it can last forever. We can keep replaying this pain and keep reliving this moment. And what happens when I keep replaying this pain and keep reliving this moment? I keep reliving this moment. I keep feeling the same pain. I keep remembering the things that made me feel pain. I keep remembering the people that made me feel pain. You see where I'm going? I never get to evolve past the pain. Okay? People that live in the past. People that live in these pains. Okay? It's a certain group of artists, even outside of musicians, even poets. A certain genre of poetry lives in pain. Yes, it lives in pain. I call it diary form of poetry, where you go off and you just tell the world the worst things that ever happened to you and how you've experienced it, as if we want to experience the same pain that you've experienced. Living in the past, emotionally underdeveloped, the failure to move forward. Not only do you need help, but you need to help yourself. You need to help yourself by accepting that nothing lasts forever. The more you convince yourself that this thing is happening, because every time you recite this form of art, the more you keep reliving the moment, the more you tell yourself that something is happening forever. Something is still happening to me. Okay? So I just wanted us to know that living in the past is a huge symptom of emotional underdevelopment. And a lot of people are emotionally underdeveloped. It's okay. A lot of people are emotionally underdeveloped. You're going to have to accept that. But then also you're going to have to accept there are a lot of emotionally developed people. Developed people. Just like there's a left, there's a right. There's a negative, there's a positive. So the question is, are you more attractive to emotionally developed people or emotionally underdeveloped people? Okay? Because two things happen. One thing may be happening if you're an underdeveloped individual. You may also attract underdeveloped individual, but they may be developed in certain areas so that they can use their development against you. This is a spiritual PDF file. Oh yeah, a lot of people fall victim to spiritual PDF files that may be using your lack of development against you. Okay? And then, of course, there are people that come across certain underdeveloped relationships that they didn't foresee. Because some people come as normal, right? That's how it is when you meet someone. You come as your best. You're as your your most charming, you're your most beautiful, you put on your best threads, you're your most polite, and then you start dating a person, and then you may move into a person, you may get to know a person more intimately and find out like, oh, this person has some work they need to do. Right? To the point you may even start questioning yourself. The moment you start feeling guilty about dating an underdeveloped person, that's a great place to be. That's also the crossroads, because at that point, there's something you can do. I'm going to get into that something a little later on down the line. Okay? Dating people with emotional, I'm going to say it like it is. Dating people with emotional disorders. Emotional disorders can look like, hold up now, I got a little list. Emotional disorders can look like chronic emotional development, chronic emotional underdevelopment. I'm going to say that all again so it can be smoother for the clip. Emotional disorders can look like chronic emotional underdevelopment. Yes. Extreme depression. Okay. Lack of personality or identity. Yes, that is a form of emotional underdevelopment. The lack of accountability or responsibility to yourself and what happens to you. Yes, that is a form of emotional underdevelopment. Holding on to the past. Yes, to the point you want to you telling others to take you back. Take me back to this time. Take me back to when music was this way. Take me back to the beach. Take me back to this. Yes, that's a form of emotional underdevelopment. The lack of purpose. Sometimes we skip past this one. The lack of purpose is also a form of emotional underdevelopment, because as you develop emotionally, you will also evolve spiritually. And as you evolve spiritually, purpose, okay, will reveal itself even more and more. It will not become something you have to find, because it never left you. It was never lost. It was never on the outside of you. It was always an inside, manifesting in different ways and revealing itself in different ways. In fact, a lot of us spend a lot of our lives revealing ourselves to ourselves, okay, through the lens of purpose. Nevertheless, these are just different examples of emotional underdevelopment, and also this may be exactly what the spiritual PDF files see in you. If a person see that you don't know how strong you are, what do you think is going to happen? If a person sees that you don't realize your abilities, okay, your strengths, okay, your skills, what do you think is going to happen? Most often, if they aren't making it obvious to you, they're going to use those against you. If they're not making it obvious to you, they're going to be using it against you. Yeah. If they realize that you have a certain charisma to yourself, you have a certain uniqueness to yourself, a certain light to yourself, but you yourself have not realized this, people are going to use this to their advantage. You haven't used it to your advantage, so why not? People look at it like, why waste a good thing? And you know what you call the individual that is using that to their advantage? You call this a covert narcissist. Oh yeah. A covert narcissist. See, they covert because you don't know that they're a narcissist. The reason why you don't know that they're a narcissist is because you may have overlooked your emotional underdevelopment. You overlooked it. Okay? You may think that because you're strong in certain ways, because you're strong in certain ways, you may translate this strength onto every way. This strength may have caused you to overlook ways that you aren't strong, ways that you may need to work on, ways that you are even underdeveloped. And the person who is the narcissist can see this. Okay, in fact, covert narcissists prey on people that are strong. They need strong people. Okay? They can't prey on the weak. They need to eat. They want to live life working less and living off of you. So for them to live off of you and to drain your energy, you're going to first have to be an energy producer. You're going to have to be strong. Okay? So sometimes, most often, strong people overlook their underdevelopment. Okay? Which is the perfect breeding grounds for covert narcissists. Covert narcissists. Right? Who's also an underdeveloped individual. Let's not get this mistaken. The covert narcissist is also an underdeveloped individual. They underdeveloped. Okay? They may be able to see your underdevelopment because they already recognize their underdevelopment. But they also see your strengths. Okay? They could even be jealous of your strengths. Most often they are. Okay? But the fact of the matter is you don't see them coming from a mile away. They come charming. They come every way that you'll overlook. You see, because you don't believe people would do this to you. You don't believe you're weak in a certain type of way. You believe, okay, that you'll see an enemy coming from a mile away, don't you? These type of people are spiritual PDF files. Yep, spiritual PDF files. Okay, they may manifest themselves as the perfect dating partners, but it becomes obvious, right, when there are drastic differences in age. When there are drastic differences in age, okay, when someone's who's of a certain age, okay, of a certain season, dating a person of a younger age or a younger season, something is happening there. Okay, not every time, not all the time. This depends on the development of the individual. But when the age is drastic, doesn't matter what any of those individuals say. Okay, there's a spiritual PDF file happening there. Okay, and what am I saying? I'm saying that once you reveal to an individual, okay, once you reveal to an individual that you're underdeveloped and you start dating, okay, this can sometimes get brushed under the rug and excuses dating and the mishaps of dating. A lot of people that complain in the dating world are complaining, okay, because there is some emotional unequivalence there, especially as it pertains to underdevelopment. Okay, certain conversations people are having. Why would you say? Why would you do? This is due to the lack of emotional intelligence. A lot of people let this go under the rug. Someone asks, "What am I to do if I'm dating an individual?" What am I to do if I'm dating an individual, right? And I begin to notice, hold up. What am I to do if I'm dating an individual and I begin to notice that they may be emotionally underdeveloped? Well, as I mentioned, you have a choice. You have a choice to either bring this to their consciousness. See, a lot of people who are emotional underdeveloped have yet to realize that they are underdeveloped. Okay? Even if they know, they haven't realized it into its full extent. Okay? So if you do love this individual, your job is to bring it to their attention. And then also bring the way you feel to their attention. Tell this individual, even though they may not like it, tell them, due to your lack of emotional intelligence, I don't feel good about carrying on in this relationship knowing, right, there's a lack. Because at a certain point, I feel like a spiritual PDF file. I feel like an abuser. I feel like I am taking advantage of you. And I am. I am. Okay? So you have a choice to bring it to that person's realization. Tell them how you feel. They need to know how you feel. No one just wants your logic, We rather your emotional intelligence. Tell us the way you feel in a way that you know we'll understand it. Okay? The second and obvious choice is to part ways with the individual in a smooth way, of course, but to part ways. Tell the individual, listen, yes, I do have deep feelings for you, okay? But I've come to question my own self in this relationship, and I need to go answer some questions within myself before I continue. Sometimes that's all you have to say. A person can't deny that you need to have work that you need to do with yourself. But we know the real reason you're telling them this is because you know they may not accept the fact that they have an emotional underdevelopment. They may not accept that. Sometimes you got to find clever ways to tell people certain things. Like we're going to have to part ways. Okay? And become more sure. Okay? Sure of yourself as it pertains to doing the right thing. Okay? Because we must also ask, are we doing the right thing? When it pertains to loving an individual, when it pertains to carrying a relationship, are we doing the right thing? Knowing that this individual is emotionally underdeveloped, are we? Are we? Especially if we didn't bring it to their attention, are we? Yeah. What about you? Put yourself in that person's shoes. What if, right, there was something wrong with you that was obvious to an individual and someone didn't tell you? What if? What if? Okay? Now, also consider, what if they wanted to tell you and they didn't know how to tell you? Because at the point of them wanting to tell you, they didn't already fell in love with you. Okay? You wasn't put in certain scenarios to reveal this underdevelopment, but now that it's been shown, now that it's come to the surface, now we can see. Okay? What if they want to tell you, but they're afraid of your reaction? They were afraid of you may not being able to understand exactly what's happening there. Okay? So sometimes we have to put ourselves in different shoes to really be able to see what is right. Okay? What is right for everyone. Not just the way you feel, but what is right for everyone. Okay? No one wants to be a predator. Yes, in this dating world, you know, sometimes you may convince yourself that it's hard to meet people on your level of mentality, on your mental level or your emotional level or your physical level. Sometimes you may think that it's even hard to meet people in your right tax bracket, but it's not. It's not. Okay? We need to first consider what is happening inside ourselves. Okay? Take some time to be honest with ourselves so that we can be honest with others. Because the universe is only giving us what we are attracting. Okay? And we're usually attracting our reflection, our reflections. Okay? So although we're speaking on the predator and the victim, they are both indeed emotionally underdeveloped, aren't they? Aren't they? It's just one person it is more obvious to than the others. Okay? Nevertheless, I want to thank you. I want to remind you to ask any questions, comments, and concerns. Okay? Hopefully today we've shined a light on different things you may have been thinking about. Okay? And nevertheless, until next time, let's get rich.